What's up, guys? It's me. It's game day. We got 3.5 hours before kickoff, and I don't know what to expect this week. I really don't. What happened last week has filled me with an optimism about this team that I haven't had in a couple years. And as we go into this game against the 7-1 Utah Utes, hosting the 7-1 Utah Utes, I don't feel that bad. At the beginning of the week, after the Arizona game was over, I was thinking to myself, well, hopefully we keep it close and it's a respectable game, but at the end of the day, I think Utah is going to be too much. But as the week went on and I looked at things, there is not a lot separating these two football teams. Both teams play stellar defense. They both have really good defenses. Our defense is actually probably a little better than theirs, but they're both excellent. They both lean heavily on their running game, although Utah's is a little more prolific in terms of production. And they both have shaky quarterback play. I can't remember the guy's name, but the Utah quarterback has like 10 touchdowns and 7 interceptions on the season. He throws for about 200 yards a game. So he's not some Cody Kessler or Jared Goff type quarterback. He's just okay. So both teams have a lot in common, and we've got this game at home. Suddenly I started to think, we really could win this game. And it wasn't just me. The rest of the country caught on too. Washington is a favorite in this game. I saw by like 2.5 to 1.5 points. So the rest of the country has realized that even though one team has 7 wins and the other team has 4 wins, there's not a lot separating these two teams. So, I mean, with Utah, obviously earlier in the season, they looked like a juggernaut. They beat Michigan. Michigan, we've seen what they've done since then. They destroyed Oregon. I mean, they went into Eugene and destroyed Oregon. And at that point, we thought Utah was a national championship contender, but the Oregon game was a month ago. Since then, they beat California, but it was a close game. They beat Arizona State, but it wasn't that good of a performance. It was just okay. It was a decent win. And then they go into USC and they get beat down pretty badly. And suddenly the shine was off. Suddenly they went from a team that was thinking about maybe competing for the national title to a team that was going to have to fight just to get into the playoff. And, they won last week, I think, against Oregon State, but they didn't look like world beaters. So the last month has made them look a lot less intimidating. And right now, I'm looking at this Utah team that we've seen over the last month, and I'm looking at the Husky team that we saw last week. I don't see a ton of difference between the two teams. I think they both do similar things, and I don't think one team is that much better than the other. Now, if you want to say Utah's been having a little better success this season, of course, go ahead and say that all you want. I mean, they thumped Oregon, something that we sure didn't do. They played Michigan earlier this year. We didn't have to play some world-beating out-of-conference opponent like that, and they beat Michigan. But the recent returns have not been so great for the Utes. And the country has picked up on this, that there's not a great difference between the two teams. And as I have looked at it over the week, I can see it. So if we get the Washington Huskies that we got last week, I feel good about us winning this game. The question is, how is this team going to handle success? Because last week was our best game of the season by far. We played a good Arizona team that was favored to beat us, and we just whooped them. The offense clicked, the defense was great, everything worked. But how are we going to continue from that? Are we going to relax and take it easy this week because, we're playing, a really good team and let's just get ready for next week? We looked so good last week. We've got, some political capital that we can spend with a loss this week. Or are you going to go, we can build on this? We may be a young team. We may already be well out of playoff contention. We may already have 4 losses, but we're going to go out and we're going to try to win every game on the rest of this schedule and build up some momentum going into next year. And I don't know what it's going to be. This is the first time this season where I'm going into a game where I really felt like stellar A plus about the previous week's performance. I mean, obviously we did good against Sacramento State and I think it was Utah State, but those were lesser teams. They showed me something last week against Arizona. They really, really showed me that these guys are the future of this team. Guys like Jake Browning, Miles Gaskin, Travis Feeney, the guys we have on defense, Buda Baker, all those guys, they showed me they can be part of something special. But this late in the season against a really good Utah team, how are you going to keep that up? Because it's not going to be easy. Let's be real. This is probably going to be a low scoring game. And if one team, by some occurrence of special teams and defensive touchdowns or just big plays, gets out to a 3 touchdown, 4 touchdown lead in the second quarter off of fluky stuff, the game is probably over because neither team has the offense where you can come back from that. So it's probably going to be a low scoring game, but we'll be in it. I'm pretty sure we're going to at least be in it at the end, and we're going to have a chance to win. We haven't really won a game like that this season, unless you count USC. And the USC game was a little different because we were ahead the whole time. We were, I think, leading that whole ball game. At least USC never had the lead in that game, I don't think. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. If we win this game, obviously, we'll be in prime position to go to a bowl game. That'll be another statement win for this team. We would knock Utah out of the playoff contention. And there is absolutely reason to believe that we can do it. So 3.5 hours. I'll catch you guys after the game, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. And we're about to learn a lot about this team.